showing some of the front yard, when the front yard, as I said, I've never fully killed off the front lawn, so technically it should be the strongest. But what you're seeing right here is a shadow, but in that shadow underneath right here, it is the greenest. Like, that is probably, but you see there's a patch of holding on strong green out there. I don't know why. It's in the ditch area, maybe because that's where some of the water settles and it's deeper and the roots are going down to get it. But it is just dry. Some of this over here is holding on. This has been our strong suit, right? But man, it is so hot in the sun. I'm even worried about my phone cutting off. Listen, hear the crispness. Even right here, they're all turning. In the shade, it's all turning. We've talked about that Recruit movie. Everybody breaks everything. After time, without rain, everything's going to turn brown. It's going to go dormant. Not so worried about it turning dormant. I'm worried about permanent damage to the grass and it not coming back because it can't handle it. And I have not seen this in a while. That is the little sporadic green you do see there. That is common Bermuda. I'm not going to walk up there. We've got wild, I mentioned the pre-emergence run out. You can clearly see the pre-emergence run out. Not that the Bermuda would be, held back from pre-emergent, but well, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But anyways, you can see the green that is there. It's nasty Bermuda. So again, no rain. This is what we're looking like. It looks truly sad. Mr. Blake is having a party tonight for 4th of July. We'll be attending. He's been pumping well water into it. But look, I've never seen my my mailbox area go completely white and brown like this. It's never reached this point. I've always watered it and kept it, a little green, but this is like, it scares me. I'm nervous because I'm in new territory. Look at it. It's just, we're dormant. It looks like when Pete killed off the back section of his lawn and replanted the Kentucky bluegrass. And I said, man, I remember the comment, because I said, man, Pete, even when you kill off grass, your striping looks better than mine. And he was laughing. And that's what this reminds me of. It's just crispy walking in it. So I'm walking on the property line here. I'm just like, there's nothing you can do besides have $1,000 water bill. And I'm not willing to go there. What is up, YouTube? Mr. Ferguson back once again here in Central North Carolina. Thank you guys so much for coming back for another video here in my lawn. Yes, the clips that you just saw at the beginning of this video was 11 months ago in July, or just in the beginning of July. And look how much different the lawn looks a year later. We've talked about it in the last several videos, but that's really the topic that's going on right now, at least in our general area. And several of you commented in the last videos about your situation with how unusual it is this year that we're getting so much rain, more than we did last year. Last year was absolutely brutal. Maybe you're someone out there, we had a few commenters we're going to talk about here in a minute, but maybe you're out there and this is your first year really getting into lawn care, really getting into planting from this past fall, or maybe you started planting in spring. It can be brutal, and the weather has a large factor in how our lawns look and how we respond, what we do in lawn care. We don't just do the exact same thing on the exact same date every single day of the year. The weather plays a major factor. And I wanted to throw that clip in there because almost exactly a year ago, we had a lawn that was the total opposite of what you're seeing. And that's just the difference that rain makes. I mean, you guys have seen it. I just want to show you again because I can't believe it myself, but just look at my front yard. It is absolutely unbelievable. It looks like a lawn for Central North Carolina. I've never seen how healthy, how green, how beautiful my lawn looks. And I believe the Lord is spoiling his child, meaning me. I believe he's spoiling me a little bit because it is so healthy. It is so green. I'm not giving all the credit to the ironite. We've talked about the last thing we put down. We did an application of RGS. We did some CK. We've done our fungicides. We've done at least, I've put down propiconazole, azoxystrobin to eliminate. We had some fungus pop up. We've eliminated it. With all the rain, I hope you guys are on top of your fungicides. But it's the natural rain that God gives us from the clouds above that has made this lawn look absolutely like it's April, like it's early spring. The temperatures have been super hot recently. Actually, matter of fact, I'm just going to stand over here on the sidewalk because it's so beautiful. I want to keep it in the shot. But the lawn has never looked this way in June, and many of you have said the exact same thing, and it's absolutely unbelievable. And so I wanted to talk about why that is, and it's because of the rain. You know, last year we do crazy tests here on my channel. If you're new to my channel within the last several months, last year, I did not water my lawn. I've talked about how I'm not on a well water. We do not have unlimited water here for free. All of our water is city filtered, comes through by the water main down in the street behind me, and we pay a hefty price. Temperatures, water prices over the past several years have just continued to climb, and it costs more and more to do washing cars and watering your lawn. And even in things like last year, they're coming around, and the utility companies, which I work for one in Wake County, they're coming around and they're seeing who's, you know, when we're on a I don't know what the word is. Somebody's going to type it below. But basically, when you're restricted, I'm the guy out there watering, trying to watch out for the truck coming while I'm watering my lawn. But last year, we did a test, and I said, let's let the grass naturally do what the grass is going to do when it gets this hot and this dry. And that's what you saw in that first clip. And maybe I'll overlay it here again. It gets brown, it gets crispy, but it's just laying dormant, protecting itself. The first signs is we see the green grass start to shrivel. We've talked about it. Then once it starts shriveling, obviously when it starts shriveling, it stops growth. It almost looks like when we're applying Velocity PM and some of these herbicides, it stops the growth. It starts shriveling. Then we start losing color, and then we start going from green to brown, and the plant is protecting itself. But you see, we did do an overseed, but we didn't have to replant the entire yard. And you saw in that clip how bad my lawn looked. But all of the water I could have been pouring into the lawn, I chose to put that money into my seed to revamp it, to overseed it and bring it back with a little bit more seed. But all of that grass is right here, and it's alive and it's kicking. The grass naturally wants to go dormant when it gets that crazy hot and humid and the soil is boiling, it seems. The other thing I wanted to talk about is we were out here doing some more outside painting and things of that nature. I was helping my wife. She was up on the ladder and I was looking at the lawn. One of the other things that happens when our grass starts lacking water, whether it's rainwater or you just not putting the sprinklers out and saying, man, I got too busy. Life happens, I understand. But when we neglect the lawn and it's not getting the proper water, obviously it doesn't look healthy. We had another rain shower last night. We only got 0.04 inches according to Mr. Kevin's weather station. But when we're constantly getting rain, it's healthy, it's juicy. When it mows, the stripes look awesome and it's growing and everything's just, oh, it's so wonderful. It's just like spring. In North Carolina, typically we're done with spring. After March, April, when we get into May, it starts slowing down. June is brutal. July is brutal, August is brutal, and then we're starting to work on, and the end of July and August, I'm starting to do dethatching. I'm starting to highlight the areas where I've started thinning out in my lawn, where I try to keep up with sprinklers, but I'm not. And some of you may be experiencing that in other parts of the nation, I don't know, but here, at least on the East Coast, we've had rain after rain, and I know up north, several of you have talked about 15 days of rain. You're tired of the rain, and overabundance of rain is not good either, just as a lack. We want that proper amount, right? But when we have a lawn that is dry and thirsty, and you saw the clips that I just showed you, we also get the thinning, which is what I was trying to get to. We start thinning out. You saw on the bank, I started to get wild common Bermuda popping up. I mentioned in that clip, the pre-emergent had run out. So regardless the fact that I hadn't done pre-emergent this year as a test at all, for those that may be new, I did no pre-emergent this year. You see my lawn with no pre-emergent this year. Not a weed in sight as far as the main sections of my lawn, not a weed in sight, and I did no pre-emergent. the main point I'm trying to get to here is, why is the lawn thick and lush? Well, number one, the water. We're getting lots of rain. That is the number one factor. When we get dry, we get thin, we lose grass. That gives opportunity for weeds, for common Bermuda, for all that. So if you're not getting all the rain Mr. Ferguson and other people are getting and keep talking about, you want to stay on top of your watering if you can. If you can't, highly expect that you're going to walk out and see weeds. You're going to see crabgrass and areas popping up. If you did pre-emergent and your pre-emergence run out, that's where you're going to start seeing it in the lawn. And you're just going to say, oh, well, all of these things are going to go away when the temperatures start dropping again in my soil. The crabgrass and stuff will naturally go away, and then we start making room for cool season weeds, but it'll be time to overseed or do fall pre-emergent. But one of the second things I wanted to mention to you guys is laterally spreading fescue. You know, we talked about cultivars in the back of the Jonathan Green. They do not have laterally spreading fescue in Jonathan Green. It looked great in the beginning of spring. Now it's really thinning out in the back of my property where we did Jonathan Green shade mixes. However, all of this, the thing that I've overseeded the front lawn with the most, I've told you guys that much of my front lawn is triple threat fescue that's local to central North Carolina here. We've done Jonathan Green heat and drought a lot on the bank. I've spread a little bit in here. We've done GCI cool blue. We did the old formula or mix or blend of GCI turf, which was no laterally spreading fescue. I did spreader elite, but it was mainly in the side in the backyard. I don't think, to my knowledge, I ever did it in the front lawn, but we did this year use the new mix and blend of GCI turf type tall fescue, which does now have laterally spreading fescue in it. Why is that so? Why do we keep talking about that? Why is that important? Because laterally spreading fescue with all of this water, with all of this growth during the spring months, during this water period that we're getting, the grass is growing. We're mowing the grass, we're chopping it, and it keeps growing, and we have to keep mowing. Those plants are laterally spreading, and it's thickening up your lawn automagically. I like that word. Yes, I said it on purpose, automagically. So when we're getting the proper water, then the plant is doing its job to, because of the type of cultivar it is, these newer laterally spreading cultivars, it is awesome because the lawn is thickening up on its own. It's almost like that Kentucky bluegrass. It's not going to do it as quickly, from what I'm told. It's not going to spread and thicken up as much as bluegrass. Bluegrass is I think bluegrass does it pretty quickly. Bermuda is fast. The laterally spreading fescue is obviously engineered in a lab, and it's not naturally that way, but it's slower, but it is, to your advantage, growing, and as it grows, it's spreading more, and you're getting a thicker lawn as you just by having that type of cultivar. So the point of this is, as we get into the summer and we get into late summer, some of you are going to start looking at overseed, and you're going to start going ahead and purchasing your seed. And many of you out there are veterans, and I don't need to talk about, but I'm talking to our newer folks, people that just don't know. Highly invest in, an hour of research. I recommend, because it's local to me and I support Pete Denny. We play in golf tournaments. He's a good Christian man and I know him. I'm always going to support GCI turf and his grass seed. That's what I use here. That's what I'm always going to use no matter what I do or where I go. I like GCI turf. I've tried other things, but I love the fact that Pete has now introduced into the normal GCI turf type tall fescue blend laterally spreading cultivars. And so that is, I believe, another key factor in having that thick, luscious, nice looking green lawn, that if you don't have those cultivars that are laterally spreading on its own, when it does get hot, when it does get dry, when you do have some die off, it's permanent die off. Where some of this, I truly believe, as we got back into hydrating it, we got more rain, we give it some more of the nutrients, and we're feeding it with fertilizer, then it comes back to life, and there goes those spreading capabilities of the grass again. So just something else to keep in mind. It is the rain. Number one, rain, highly important. You saw the beginning of this video of how nasty it can get when we just do nothing, when the sky dries up, and when we don't do our part to water the lawn, it can turn absolutely brown. But I was an ignorant person in the beginning thinking, well, my lawn's dead. I need to kill everything off with glyphosate and restart all over. No, 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 no. Don't do that. You've got deeply seated and deeply rooted grass out here. Just because it naturally wants to go brown doesn't mean it's completely dead. Keep it, save it. Let's overseed on top of it. come this fall. Man, it feels great out here this morning. I'm just so thankful for the Lord and for getting all the work done. We will be going to the beach next week. So there may be one video that I filmed down at the beach and post like on Wednesday or Thursday. It may be a random day, but it's our beach week. We're going to relax, get away from YouTube for a while, and then we'll return. Obviously, I'm going to try to prepare. That may be what Friday's video is. I want to, cut the lawn down. We're going to look at see if we're supposed to get rain and then see what we get when we return after a full week, 7 days of being gone. So God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank the Lord for this rain and this water. Think about that. We got links in the description. If you're interested to go ahead and get your GCI Turf Type Tall Fescue seed like me, it'll be in the description. I'd love for you to purchase it from this channel. It helps support the channel here. And I thank you for those that do that. God bless you. We will see you hopefully on Friday with another lawn care video. God bless you.